right? So I think that the whole comparison between MBA and CFA have been doing all wrong, because whenever we are doing MBA versus CFA, we're trying to look at 4 lakh candidates of MBA versus, let's say, 40,000 CFA level 1 candidates. We should ideally be comparing 8,956 MBA candidates versus 40,000 registrations of CFA. And the reason Hi guys, my name is Alan Arvindan. I'm a CFA charter holder and welcome to Mentor Me's YouTube channel. And just like any other video, we come up with career guide sessions, and this is one of those sessions and we are actually comparing MBA versus CFA and the validity of this comparison. We'll try to look at what is common between MBA and CFA. The second angle will be to compare the reputation of both the programs. Then the third angle is to look at the long-term success in both these programs and looking at the kind of salary growth that candidates are actually able to get in both of these programs. And finally, we look at the network benefits that you get in both these programs, right? Comparing MBA and CFA. So let's get started. So let's first start with what is not common across these both programs, because it's very important to understand the difference between MBA and CFA from the angle of what it is not, right? So first, if you look at the infographic out here, that the CFA program costs about 2.5 lakhs, whereas MBA obviously is a pretty expensive program, almost 7 to 8 times. If you're doing it from India, if you're doing it from abroad, of course, that might go up to 20 times as well. Right now, when you look at the core program content, then CFA is basically talking about investment finance. Whereas if you look at the MBA program, it is a broader general management qualification, right, with subjects in business, which includes marketing, finance, HR, etc. Right? Now, CFA program is not a full-time program, so you are expected to work along with preparation for the various levels of exam that you're actually appearing for. And at the same time, the MBA program is a complete full-time program because it's necessary, because otherwise you're not able to gain the benefits of the MBA placement. If you look at the journey-wise comparison between MBA and CFA, then we are looking at basically the fact that the CFA guy who has cleared the level 1, of course, is not going to command the same salary as probably an MBA graduate who might start his salary at around 10 to 12 lakh. We will come to the salary structures and the real data of MBA salaries in a while in the following infographics. But initially, the idea is that obviously when you start with CFA level 1, obviously your salary will not be as high as 10 lakhs. But when you complete the MBA program, the 2 years complete full-time program, and of course you start at a very higher salary compared to somewhere around 10 to 11 lakhs, right? But a couple of insights which I want to actually share with you for people who are actually thinking of an MBA program is to first understand that whenever choosing an MBA program, you have to keep in mind the quality of the institute, because it is directly correlated with the kind of companies that will actually come to the campus, right? So if you are going into a tier 2 MBA school, the chances are that the salary that you want to get is obviously not going to be very comparable to, let's say, a tier 1 MBA, right? So some of the statistics I want to actually share with you is, for example, doing an MBA abroad has become pretty popular nowadays, but if you compare that with the data of the kind of jobs that people are actually getting after doing this MBA in abroad, is probably not very encouraging, right? So if you actually look at the data point which has been given here, it says that more than 7,70,000 students went abroad to study in 2022, which is obviously at a 6-year high, but only 22% of these students who actually studied abroad between 2015 and 19 were actually able to secure employment by coming home to India. And so that's not a very encouraging figure, because what people do not understand is that even if you are doing an MBA program from a foreign country, let's say Europe or US or UK, doesn't mean that all the institutes out there and abroad are also of good quality, because you've got tier 2 and tier 3 MBA kind of institutes even in other countries as well. And so that's one of the figures to keep in mind. Then another thing about domestic MBA is that tier 2 MBAs, although a lot of MBA colleges have actually come up in the country, but only 5% have been able to get a job which is greater than 8 lakhs per year, right? Compared to the number of MBA institutes that have actually come in, and also the fact that the MBA admissions are at an all-time high, so somewhere around 4 lakh candidates now enroll themselves for an MBA program versus somewhere around 2.5 lakhs, which used to be a couple of years back, right? Let's now look at the top 20 MBA salary trend, right? And this should give you a pretty good idea on what I mean by the quality of institute. So I have taken this data and I've compared the salary data of all the MBA colleges, the top 20 colleges between 3 years, which is 2021, 22, and 23. And you can clearly see that as the rank keeps going down towards the 20th mark, your salary obviously comes down to somewhere around 15 to 20 lakhs at the max. And on an average, you could expect somewhere around 10 to 12 lakhs. For example, if you look at IIM Raipur and IIM, let's say SC Majority Pune, the salaries obviously, the maximum salaries are obviously not as high as probably that what you're getting at IIM Bangalore and IIM Ahmedabad, right? Now, if you look at this trend for 45 colleges, it's even more revealing, because as you even go below, let's say, the colleges of, let's say, IIM Raipur, and you plot the data. So as you come down to the lower quality colleges, the salaries are as good as obviously not doing an MBA. Right? So a simple formula that actually can be calculated to check if this college is actually worthwhile pursuing is to take the highest CTC which is offered by the top MBA college in India, and you minus 0.5 in multiplied by the rank of the college, and that's the expected CTC which you can expect by going to a college. So bear in mind that MBA degree itself has no value. The institute has the value. Now let's talk about who should not do a CFA program, right? So the CFA program is obviously an investment qualification, and it is not an MBA qualification. MBA program has a lot of subjects like investments, it has also finance, it has also accounting, it also has marketing. So the subjects are very broad in nature, right? Compare that to a CFA program, it's for a person who's already decided that I want to be in investments, right? So that qualification is not a placement program where CFA Institute does not give any placement. So you have to start building your own career step by step, right? So now let's look at the competitive comparison between CFA and MBA. So if you actually look at the CFA exams, so generally what we are looking at is that 4 lakh students are actually getting into an MBA college. But the only problem with that number is that we're talking about all the colleges. If we are just looking at top 25 colleges, then we're looking at around 8,596 seats, right? Versus let's say about 2.5-3 lakh people actually appearing for the CAT exam. So if we look at the CFA exam also, it's not that 40,000 people are clearing the level 1. It's only overall from start till the end, we are looking at about 6% success rate. So if we look at this comparison, then CFA is at around 6% success rate versus the CAT exams, which are at a 4% success rate. CFA is a self-search, career progression, right? You have to look out for your job, you have to do internships, you have to progress through the ranks. Whereas in MBA program, then you're looking at a college placement. So hence the quality of an college will be very, very important, right? And salary command, usually a CFA candidate who has done the CFA program can start commanding salaries once he has appeared or got his charter, and in total along with the charter has somewhere around 5 to 6 years of core relevant experience, not just any experience, but core relevant experience, right? Now let's look at the the competitive scenario by looking at some numbers. So let's say if 100 people actually start the program, right? 25 to 30% people actually complete the level 1 program. So that means that we are actually left out with around 30 candidates at level 1. Then we are looking at around 12 candidates who actually are able to clear the level 2 exam. So from 100, we have already reached 12. And then finally, the number of people who are actually clearing the level 3 is around 6. So then we're looking at 6 people from start till the end actually becoming a charter. Also given the fact that the person also gains the 4 years of relevant experience. Now, if you look at the CFA salary, on an average is about 680. Now, my understanding about this, and I've also created a video on this already, is the fact that 6 lakhs, 7 lakhs kind of salaries a CFA candidate can get maybe after 2 to 3 years of experience. initially the first year of completing the CFA program, probably anywhere between 3.5 lakh to 4.5 lakhs of salary can be expected, right? So that's the basic comparison. Now, if you put the numbers into perspective, doesn't mean that the CFA program or the CFA candidate will earn less in the longer run. Okay, and I'll show you why. So let's consider there are two candidates who started at the same time, level 1, and there was one guy who's in MBA first year. So the MBA first year guy is obviously not started anything. He's not earning anything, right? But the CFA level 1 guy who's completed the level 1 program can now start earning and gaining some relevant experience at something around 4 lakhs per annum, right? So after year 2, then we are expecting that at least 1 to 2 years of experience, the CFA level 2 guy can easily get somewhere around 5 lakhs per annum. At the same time, the MBA second year guy is still in college, right? Now, if you look at level 3, then we're looking at a person with 3 years of experience after level 1, level 2, and has, let's say, also completed level 3 or appearing for level 3, can command somewhere around 6 lakhs per annum. And this is the time when actually the MBA guy is getting his first job and expected that on an average you should get somewhere around 10 lakhs per annum. But now, post the charter, then we're looking at around 5 to 6 years of experience, and the MBA guy coming to the market and also gaining 1 more year of experience. Most likely from here on, the salary increments are not so linear as it used to be before. Now from here onwards, it is all about the skill, the kind of loyalty that you have with the company, and the kind of value that you add to the company, and it is proportionate to that the salaries are actually. So in the long term, both the qualifications are going to end up giving you probably a very similar career growth. Of course, when you look at the numbers posted by these institutes, it might sound that the MBA guy will always be successful and probably will be on more than anyone in the whole world. But that's not actually true. Even the CFA guy can actually run, even the MBA guy can run. The question that arises is, which qualification should you actually do based on the interest? I hope you found this video to be very useful for you in your career decisions. And if you actually like this video, please do subscribe to the channel and help us get this message across to as many people as possible who can actually benefit from this knowledge. And I'll see you again next week with another.